They think they know themselves. They walk around oblivious, each one wrapped in their little illusions. And it's those illusions that I see through, that I break through. They trust their thoughts, their desires, as if they are their own, but thoughts are never truly one's own. I've learned something about people. They're malleable. Minds are like clay. Give them a shape, and they hold onto it like it's natural, but they never question where the hands molding them come from. That's the thing about power. It's never about force. No, power is subtle, like a whisper in the dark that you didn't even know you heard. It creeps into your mind, twisting your will, making you believe that the choices you make are your own, and by the time you realize, you're already a puppet. Everyone craves power, even the weak. They won't admit it, of course. They'll cloak their ambition with niceties, wrap it in morality, but underneath, every person wants control. Control over their own lives, over others, over me. Pathetic. But control is something most of them will never have. Because I can see right through them. I can read them. And what I see is weakness masquerading as strength. Their need for validation, their desperation for acceptance, their fear of being alone. They don't even realize how predictable they are. Everything is based on interests. There's no such thing as true loyalty, no such thing as unconditional love, and certainly no such thing as altruism. People do what benefits them. Simple. I give them what they want, and in return, I take what I want. They call it manipulation. I call it survival. It's all a game, and the rules are written in blood. You either play to win, or you're played. Look at them. They walk through life like they've figured it all out, like they're masters of their own destiny. But I can bend their will, twist their desires, and shape their very thoughts, and they will never know it was me. They will fight for me, die for me, love me, and hate me, all at my command. The truth is that most of them don't even want freedom. They say they do, but freedom terrifies them. They need to be led, to be guided. They need someone to tell them who to be, what to believe in, who to hate. And I provide that direction. I show them the path, but I choose the destination. People are predictable once you learn how to read them, and once you learn to manipulate the subtle desires that drive them, you become unstoppable. The trick is not to force them into obedience, but to make them choose to obey, to make them think it's what they wanted all along. Some call me a monster for what I do. But monsters are born from fear, and fear is just another tool. Fear controls people better than anything else. Dangle what they fear in front of them, and watch as they hand over their souls. They don't know me. They don't understand me. They can't. To them, I'm an enigma, a shadow in their peripheral vision. But that's how I prefer it. Let them remain in the dark. Let them continue to be blind to their own manipulation. I play the long game after all, and they'll never see me coming. They think they've got it all figured out. They walk through life like they're immune to influence, like their minds are fortresses protected by logic, belief, and choice. But there are cracks in every fortress. No wall is impenetrable, and when you know where to strike, the whole thing collapses from within. You don't need brute force to dominate people. You don't need armies or laws. The human mind is a battlefield, and the greatest victories are won without a single shot being fired. I slip into their thoughts like poison, unseen, unnoticed. They won't even know I've infected them until it's too late, until they can't remember what life was like before I entered it. And by then, they'll defend their slavery like it's freedom. They'll tell themselves it was always their choice. People, they disgust me with their naivety. They think the world operates on ideals, on fairness, on justice, but the world is nothing but interests clashing in the dark. It's all leverage. It's all about who has the upper hand. The strong don't ask for power, they take it. And the weak? The weak willingly hand it over, as long as you tell them what they want to hear. I know what drives them. It's not the things they say out loud, the things they pretend to care about. No, it's the things they hide. Their hunger, their lust for recognition, their fear of being insignificant. They crave validation like a drug. That's the real currency. It's not money, not love. It's that intoxicating feeling of being seen and desired. Control that, and you control them. The trick, never let them know you see through them. People guard their insecurities with their lives. They hide their flaws, terrified that someone will expose them. But once you learn how to read them, you'll see the truth. Every weakness, every crack in their armor, and that's where you strike. Violence isn't just about bloodshed. It's about control. It's about erasing their sense of self, making them doubt every decision, every thought, until all that's left is what I want them to think. I invade their minds with precision, picking apart their identities, piece by piece, until they cling to me for stability. By the time I'm done with them, they won't know where I end, and they begin. You think people are complicated? They're not. They're simple, predictable. They follow patterns. They cling to routines. They're slaves to their own habits. All it takes is a nudge here, a whisper there, and they fall in line. They want to be manipulated. They need it. They're lost without someone to lead them, to tell them what to do, what to feel, what to believe. That's why they follow me, because I don't ask them for trust. I take it. I make them need me, and once they need you, they're yours forever. They'll rationalize it. They'll justify it. They'll tell themselves stories about why they made the choices they made. But it doesn't matter. The truth is they were mine from the moment they crossed my path. Everything is based on interests. They call it love. They call it loyalty, but at its core, it's always about what they can gain. I don't delude myself with sentimental nonsense. People stay because it benefits them, and they leave the moment it doesn't. The moment they see an advantage elsewhere, they'll discard you without hesitation. And that's fine. I encourage it. It's easier to manipulate someone when they think they're in control, when they believe their decisions are their own. But here's the beauty. They never are. Every action, every word, every choice they make is influenced by 100 invisible strings, pulling them in directions they don't understand. They think they're chasing their dreams, fulfilling their potential, but they're just moving in the patterns I set for them. I'm not a monster. I'm just aware. I see the world for what it is: cold, ruthless, chaotic, and I've learned to thrive in that chaos. I don't need morality. I don't need validation. I only need results. And people are the tools to achieve those results. You just have to know how to use them. The funny thing is, they actually want to be controlled. Deep down, they're terrified of the responsibility that comes with freedom. They want someone else to take the reins, someone to make the hard choices for them. And once they find someone who can do that, they'll give up everything. Everything. Just to feel safe. Just to feel like their lives have meaning. They're weak. And weakness is a disease. A disease I know how to exploit. I make them need me. I make them believe that without me, they are nothing. And once they believe that, once they see me as the center of their world, as the key to their survival, that's when I own them. And here's the beauty of it. It's all self-inflicted. I don't need to force them. I don't need to beg. They walk right into the trap with open arms because they want what I offer. Power, purpose, direction. I make them feel like they're part of something bigger, like they matter in this vast, uncaring universe. And that's what they all want, isn't it? To matter. But it's all a lie. They don't matter. None of them do. Not in the grand scheme of things. But they're too blind to see it. So I give them what they crave. I give them the illusion of significance, the feeling of being in control, while all the while I'm pulling the strings. And when I'm done with them, when they've served their purpose, I discard them, like the tools they are. Because that's all people really are. Tools, to be used and discarded. And if you think otherwise, if you think there's some deeper meaning to it all, you're fooling yourself. Everything is transactional. Everything. And once you understand that, you're free. Free to take what you want. Free to become whatever you choose to be. It's laughable, really, how easy it is to bend them to my will. You'd think that after so many centuries of evolution, people would have developed the ability to see through deception, to recognize when they're being controlled. But they don't. They can't. They're trapped in their own self-importance, convinced that their thoughts are somehow special, that their lives have meaning beyond the impulses that drive them. But they don't. They're predictable, mechanical in their desires, and that makes them easy to control. I don't need to shout. I don't need to raise my voice. Words are the most dangerous weapon, far more potent than any blade or bullet. People trust words, trust their own understanding of reality, which makes them ripe for the picking. I tell them what they want to hear, feed them their own insecurities and ambitions back to them, wrapped in just the right packaging, and they eat it up like it's gospel. Power isn't taken by force. No, that's amateur. Anyone can impose brute strength, but true mastery comes from making them give it to you, voluntarily. That's when you know you've won. Not when they fear you, but when they worship you, when they need you. Fear is powerful, yes, but need is everything. They all think they're playing the same game, chasing success, money, validation, but they're all chasing something they can't have: control. Real control isn't about achieving your goals. It's about making others achieve them for you. It's about making people do things against their own interests and still thank you for it. It's about planting ideas in their heads that they believe came from themselves. I read them, every twitch, every hesitation, every unspoken thought. They think their minds are private, that their secrets are safe, but they're not. It's all written on their faces, in their eyes, in the way they move and speak. They broadcast their vulnerabilities, and I tune in. I listen, I watch, and then I strike. There's no one I can't break, no mind too fortified, no will too strong. Everyone has a weakness. Everyone has something they're afraid of, something they desire, and once you find it, you own them. It's only a matter of time before they crumble, and when they do, I'm there to pick up the pieces, to mold them into something useful. Of course, some fight back. They resist. They try to hold on to their sense of identity, their so-called integrity, but integrity is a lie. It's a mask people wear to cover up their self-interest, their greed. Scratch the surface of any moral code, and you'll find the same thing: fear. Fear of judgment, fear of loss, fear of being seen for what they really are. Hypocrites, the ones who resist the hardest, are the most fun. They think they're strong, that they can outwit me, outmaneuver me. But in the end, they always fall. Because I don't play by the rules, I make them. And in my game, resistance is just another form of submission. The more they fight, the more they reveal their weaknesses, the more they show me what they're afraid of. I watch them unravel, slowly, carefully. I don't rush it. Control is a delicate art, like carving a masterpiece from marble. You have to be patient, precise. Too much pressure, and they'll break too soon. Not enough, and they'll slip through your fingers. But when you get it just right, when you apply just the right amount of force, they give in, and that's when they're mine.